Hello, friends, and welcome back to April's Cozy Corner. Grab your tea or your coffee and your blanket or whatever helps you feel a little more at peace, and let's get cozy. Today, I want to talk about what it feels like to be an empath in a world that never really slows down. A world that rewards loudness, fast responses, emotional detachment, constant stimulation, and pretending nothing affects you. Meanwhile, some of us feel everything deeply. We notice tone changes. We absorb energy in rooms. We replay conversations in our heads. We carry emotions long after everyone else has moved on. And after a while, it becomes exhausting. Being deeply empathetic can feel beautiful at times. You care deeply about people. You notice when someone is hurting. You try to understand people instead of immediately judging them. But there's another side to it that people don't talk about enough. Feeling deeply can become overwhelming in a world that rarely pauses to process emotions. Empaths often carry emotional weight that doesn't even belong to them. Sometimes you walk into a room and immediately feel tension before anyone says a word. Sometimes somebody's mood changes slightly and your nervous system reacts before your mind even catches up. You can spend hours trying to understand why someone acted differently towards you. And while other people move on casually, your mind is still processing the emotional atmosphere of the interaction. There's a quote that says, "Sensitive people either love deeply or regret deeply. There rarely seems to be an in-between." And I think many empaths understand that feeling. One thing I've noticed is that modern culture often praises emotional numbness. People admire those who don't care, cut people off easily, never get attached, never cry, never overthink. But empathy is not weakness. Feeling deeply does not mean you're broken. And sometimes highly empathetic people start feeling ashamed of their emotions because they're living in environments that make sensitivity feel inconvenient. Especially online, social media can make emotionally sensitive people feel very overstimulated. Everyone is arguing, performing, competing, seeking validation, reacting instantly. And for empathetic people, too much noise eventually creates emotional exhaustion. That's why many sensitive people start craving things such as quiet mornings, books, slow living, nature, and cozy spaces. It's not laziness, it's regulation. A lot of empathetic people become emotionally hyper-aware very young, sometimes because they grew up around tension. You learn to monitor emotional energy for safety. You learn who's upset, who's angry, who's shutting down, who's disappointed, and who needs comforting. And eventually, you become so focused on emotional survival that you stop asking yourself, "What do I feel?" Many empaths become caretakers emotionally. Even in adulthood, you try to fix things, keep the peace, understand everyone's perspective. Meanwhile, nobody asks how caring all of that affects you. There's a philosophical idea that says the child who becomes highly observant often grew up in an environment where emotional awareness felt necessary, and that hits deeply for many people. People sometimes misunderstand why sensitive people withdraw. They assume you're antisocial, you're distant, you think you're better than people. But many empaths isolate because constant emotional input becomes overwhelming. Being around conflict, loud personalities, drama, or criticism can feel physically draining. That's why alone time often feels healing instead of lonely. Some people recharge socially. Empaths often recharge through peace, through quiet, through creating, through reconnecting with themselves. That's why activities like journaling, running, reading, music, and crocheting, it gives your nervous system space to breathe. One of the hardest part about being empathetic is feeling understood, especially when people assume sensitivity means weakness. Sometimes the quietest people carry the deepest emotional worlds, but because they struggle to express everything verbally, others underestimate them. There's a loneliness in feeling deeply while living in a world that rewards emotional surface level interactions. You may care deeply about people, but still feel emotionally alone around them. And that feeling can quietly break your heart over time. Sometimes empaths become exhausted, not because they feel too much, but because they rarely feel emotionally safe enough to fully express what they feel. Empathetic people often love deeply, sometimes too deeply. You try to understand people's pain. You excuse behavior because you see the hurt underneath it. You stay emotionally attached to potential instead of reality. And because you feel emotions intensely, heartbreak can feel consuming. You replay moments. You analyze everything. You search for meaning in small interactions. That's why emotional inconsistent relationships can become addictive to sensitive people. The nervous system becomes attached to uncertainty. But emotional depth should never require self abandonment. You can love deeply without losing yourself. Many empaths struggle with boundaries. Because you don't want to hurt people, you understand their pain. You understand their trauma. You understand why they behave the way they do. But understanding someone does not mean tolerating emotional harm forever. And that's a painful realization. Sometimes empathetic people become so focused on compassion that they forget compassion must include themselves first. There comes a point where protecting your peace becomes necessary, not out of cruelty, but survival. I think society often underestimates quiet people, especially socially awkward or neurodivergent people. People assume depth belongs to the loudest person in the room, but many deeply reflective people express themselves better through art, music, writing, and creativity. Some people have entire emotional universes inside of them that never fully come out in casual conversation. And I think that's beautiful. There's a quote I love: still waters run deep. Not every meaningful person is loud. Some people are soft, observant, gentle, and reflective, and still incredibly powerful. At some point, empaths begin realizing they cannot absorb everything around them. You are not responsible for fixing everyone. You are not required to carry every emotional burden. You are not obligated to stay in environments that constantly drain you. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Sometimes growth looks like resting, slowing down, setting boundaries, and choosing environments that calm your nervous system. There's strength in softness too. Being an empath in a loud world can feel isolating, but sensitivity is not something to be ashamed of. The world may teach people to harden themselves emotionally, but there's something beautiful about remaining emotionally connected to life, about noticing beauty deeply, feeling music deeply, loving deeply, and creating deeply. The goal is not to become numb. The goal is learning how to protect your heart without losing its softness. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here in April's Cozy Corner. If this video resonated with you, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.